So I might have made a slight modification to the Jeep, and honestly, I think it's pretty sick. Now that I've installed the Rhino backbone system and I've installed my roof nest Condor Overland, the tent weighs 164 pounds. The roof rack's rated for 174 off-road. I know some people have issues with the Rhino racks, so I just kind of want to go out and do a little bit of a shakedown run, see if anything's going to come loose, see how it feels on the Jeep, kind of get used to how the Jeep, you know, moves around on the gravel roads before I go out and do a really large run with Colin or by myself. Because the last thing I want is to be out a long ways from home and have something terrible happen. I'm gonna try and find an old cabin up on the mountain, on my local municipal mountain. Haven't been up there in years. It's been a long time. That being said, I think I should be able to find it. It's pretty cool. So far so good. I haven't heard any weird creaking. The Jeep honestly feels a little different than it did before. I can definitely feel the weight up there. The springs feel a little softer. I might have to put a stiffer spring in there when I get the full camping setup installed. But all in all, not bad. I know it's a very controversial rack, but it seems to be holding up. The tent seems to be happy up there. I'm excited to use the tent. I'm excited for our trips to get just a wee bit longer. My way just a little bit trying to find this little half cabin deal up on the mountain, but I wouldn't call it the wrong turn because I got myself a pretty nice view. I think for a little afternoon snack and hang out for a bit, and then we'll try and find it. It's a bit of a maze up here. There's rows all over the place. We'll get it. If you're wanting to see the tent open and it all set up on top of the Jeep, stick around to the end of the video. I'm gonna try and find a nice little spot to park. And I'll get it all opened up so I can show you guys a closer look of the rack and the tent itself. took the time to soak up the view. I'm gonna do a little bit of backtracking now and try and find this cabin up here. I know it's up here, I ain't lying. I'm gonna find it. I think I took a wrong turn, no. I think I know where I went wrong. So, please hold. Well, it's honestly crazy how fast things change out here. I swear I was on the right road. It's a dead end. But I think it's up on this hillside somewhere, buried in the trees now. Because last time I was up here, it was probably 10 years ago, and it wasn't a clear cut, and now the clear cut is all grown up. I don't know if I'm able to find it. I swear there was a trail to it.
Shortly after putting the drone up in the air to do some aerial surveillance, I found the cabin. Not in the condition I was hoping for, though. The balcony on the porch was tied into 2 trees next to it, so when the trees fell over, it took the cabin with it, unfortunately.
Well, I was really hoping to find it in one piece, but I think a windstorm beat us to it. 3 trees are laying on it right now, and it's a pile of rubble. But now, I'm going to go find somewhere to park, and we're going to set up the tent, and I'm going to show you the new camping setup. I've honestly been really enjoying how this has been driving with the tent up there. I'm starting to not even notice it. I don't really even notice it swaying the Jeep around, so I think it's going to be a really good setup. All right, I think I have found us a good spot for me to show you the tent setup. So here's the new setup. I picked myself up a roof nest condo or overland. I picked it up used off a gentleman. He only used it for 1 season. I got it for a pretty good deal. And I'm honestly pretty happy with it. Now I've mounted this tent on the Jeep using a Rhino rack backbone system, and I went with a 3-bar instead of the Pioneer platform, if you're familiar with what I'm speaking of. Now, honestly, it's a pretty controversial rack, but I like the look of it. I like the aesthetics from the outside. I think it is far more pleasing to the eye than having the large outer structure on the Jeep. like one of the tubed frameworks like Metal Cloak. I think this is a cleaner look. Although this is my very first time setting it up somewhere that isn't on flat concrete. And getting this ladder to sit right is gonna take some learning. It's definitely gonna be a learning curve for me. I can't figure out where the natural resting point for this, like where the ladder supports the tent. Trying to find a little happy medium there is a little difficult. So if you have any tips, if you own this tent, I would love to hear them on how to get it to sit just right, or where the right angle is, if that makes sense. I honestly couldn't be happier on how this build is coming along. Everything is working out how I planned, for the most part. The Rhino rack does make a couple squeaks. I can hear some things moving around, so I'm gonna go home and double check all the mounting hardware. Make sure it's all still tight from this first little excursion. And our trips are about to get so much better. Now that I have somewhere nice to sleep and I can keep the back a little more organized and I can bring some more gear with me. So that means we can go further, we can explore further, and we can get just a little bit more lost. And if you like off-roading and storytelling content, consider subscribing. My goal is to reach 10,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you're enjoying this video, or if you click on some of my other videos and you enjoy them as well, I'd appreciate it if you smash the subscribe button. But yeah, I think I consider this shakedown run a success. And I'm so excited to get out on a wheeling trip with it. I'll see you guys in the next video.